have a positive impact to see on the market price of the share. So working with the same goal in mind, we design the capital structure. The company is designing the capital structure, which is nothing but the proportion of debt and equity in the total funds of the company. What is the aim of the company? The aim is to minimize the cost of capital and to maximize the value of the firm. Okay, so there is an inverse relationship between cost of capital and value of the firm. If the cost of capital is minimized, the value of the firm will be maximized. Just to explain this concept, if you remember, we were doing the calculation of present value of cash flows under the concept of capital budgeting. तो आप देखोगे lower discount rate पे, this we have discussed also, lower discount rate पे आपको higher value मिलती है. Okay, and at a higher discount rate you get a lower value. And your cost of capital is the discount rate at which we are calculating these present values. So if you lower your cost of capital, that will result in a higher value for the firm. Okay, because present value is taken in the denominator, you lower the value of the denominator. ऐसे आप present value लेते हो, cash flow से 10% पे ले रहे हो तो you are taking this in the denominator and so on. So if the value of denominator is decreasing, your overall value will increase. Okay, so the aim of the firm is to minimize this discount rate, to minimize the opportunity cost of capital. Moving ahead, we see the scenarios and under which we form a capital structure. Now, there are different patterns of financing that can be adopted by a firm. A self-sufficient firm goes for 100% equity. It can also bring about a variation in the share capital by issuing preference shares or a mix of equity, debt, and the last option is equity, preference plus debt capital. So this will be the most varied of the capital structures which the firm can adopt. Okay, so when designing the capital structure, when evaluating the various alternatives that are available before the firm, the ultimate goal is to maximize the EPS. Okay, EBIT is your earnings before interest and taxes. EPS is earning per share. So when we are examining the relationship between the two variables, it is known as EBIT EPS analysis. What are you doing? At a level, at a particular level of EBIT, you are calculating the EPS under different financial plans, under alternatives available to you, or with different alternatives and a change in EBIT, again you are calculating EPS and you are choosing the best out of the alternatives available. Okay, so how does this work? We come to the practical part. Okay, so this is a question with a constant level of EBIT with different financial plans. Okay, so X Limited is expecting an operating profit of 2 lakh per annum on an investment of 6 lakh. The company can raise the amount of investment by issuing equity share capital, preference shares and 10% debentures. You are given 4 clear alternatives which the firm has before itself. Either going for total 100% equity financing. Second option is 50% equity, 50% preference. Third is 50% equity, then 25% preference and 25% debt. And in the last option, you are increasing the proportion of debt to 50%, whereas 25% is being raised through equity and 25% through preference shares. So you have to analyze the EPS under various options if the tax rate is 50%. So by this time, you know that to solve this, we'll prepare the income statement. We move from EBIT to EPS under all the four alternatives and then we compare them. So I'll start with one of the alternatives just to recap and then you can solve the remaining. So we take the particulars, option 1. So 2, 3 and 4. So option 1 is a 100% equity option wherein you will be issuing how many shares? 6,000 equity shares will be issued to raise rupees 6 lakh. Okay. Then under second option, 3 lakh it will be raised by equity, 3 lakh by preference and so on. You keep dividing. If you want, I'll write equity share capital will be 3 lakh in the second case and you are hence issuing 3,000 shares. Okay, and preference again, since face value is not given, we assume it to be a rupee 100 preference share. So again, preference share capital will be 3 lakh and you are issuing 3,000 preference shares there and the total you get is 6 lakh in your capital structure. Okay. So I'll solve for the first part. You start with EBIT of 2 lakh. There is no interest. A tax of 50%. Again, no preference shares. So there's no preference dividend and you get earnings available to equity shareholders as rupees 1 lakh. So now to come at EPS, we divide the earnings available to equity shareholders by the number of equity shares. Now in our case, we have 6,000 equity shares. So we take 6,000 and we get our EPS as rupees 16.67 per share. Okay. So with the varying capital structures, you can calculate how much is the value coming to EPS following the same steps. Start solving, everyone. we start putting in the EPS for the other options. Yes, Vishal, are you here? Vishal, कितना आ रहा है आंसर सेकंड ऑप्शन में? Just a minute, I'm waiting. Yes. By that time, Nishant, you will be giving me the answer for third option. Are you here? Okay, for the third option, and then Tushar, you are giving me the answer for fourth option. Tushar is here. No response. Okay. ओके तुषार, फोर्थ ऑप्शन में कितना ईपीएस आ रहा है आप सॉल्व करो, पहले फोर्थ ऑप्शन का सॉल्व करो. थ्री ऑफ यू आर गिविंग मी द आंसर एंड देन वी विल डिस्कस. Okay, so Vishal, you have solved. Yes, 19.33 is correct. Good. प्रथम डिवाइड करो बेटा नंबर ऑफ इक्विटी शेयर से, तब ईपीएस आएगा बेटा आपका. Okay, Nishant and Tushar, I am waiting for the other responses. Yes. EPS is coming to 23.83. Rest of you also check. Are we getting the same answer? Okay, good, correct. So if you see from option 1 to option 3, the EPS is rising. Let us see what the value is coming for option 4. Okay, so by the time Tushari you're giving the answer, the rest of you can have a look that the company is earning an EBIT of 2 lakh on an investment of 6 lakh. So which means that the return on investment for the company is a very good return, which is of 33.33%. So I told you that use of leverage, use of fixed cost funds will benefit the firm as long as the return on investment is greater than the cost of debt. So cost of debt in our case is 10% debenture and 14% preference shares हैं. So your return on investment is able to cover both these fixed cost expenses, and hence with every successive alternative you will find an increase in EPS. Had this not been the case, अगर आप return on investment से आपकी 1 lakh rupees होती, then you would have seen that there would be a different scenario. The EPS would have fallen. Okay, you can try that alternative, that if your return on investment is less than the cost of these fixed cost funds, then your financial leverage is working in the opposite manner. It is reducing the earning per share of the equity shareholders. Okay, so in our question, since the return on investment is quite high, with every next alternative, every increase in the leverage of the capital structure, we find an increase in the EPS. तुषार क्या आंसर है बेटा लास्ट पार्ट का? Okay, 42.67. I hope this is clear to you and to everyone. So in our case, in the last part, we have the highest EPS where the company is using 50% debt, because it is very sure that EBIT will cover the cost of debt. Okay, so this is EBIT EPS analysis with fixed EBIT, constant EBIT दिया हुआ है आपको 4 alternatives में. The second case can be when you are given a varying EBIT, that is under different situations you are finding a fluctuation in the EBIT. So here is a question on the same. So a company has share capital of 2 lakh divided into shares of 10 each. Now it requires 1 lakh more for some expansion, and for that three alternatives are before, okay, three options are before the firm. Either 100% equity or 100% debt or 100% preference shares. So EBIT is 80,000 per annum and the tax rate is 50%. Now in this case you are given a varying EBIT that after the additional financing EBIT continues to be the same, or it increases by 20,000, or the third case is that it declines by 25,000. So you will have a total of again 3 into 3 9 cases here. पहले option में you take the same level of EBIT. Case 1 will be EBIT continues to be the same, which is 80,000 per annum, and you calculate the EPS under all the three options: 100% equity, 100% preference, and 100% debt. And with the three options, you take case 2 and 3 and calculate the EPS. So same steps, start solving. So in the first option, you are having 1000 equity shares. Okay, you already have 2000 20,000 इक्विटी शेयर्स पहले भी हैं तो इसमें फोर्स जाएगा. First, calculate the EPS, sorry, earnings available to equity shareholders. Then we'll take the EPS for each case. What is the earning coming under 100% preference? Earnings available to equity shareholders. I'm solving for the first part. You already have equity shares. Your equity shareholders will increase to 30,000 now. So accordingly, you will get your EPS as 40,000 minus 30,000 in the first case. 40,000 divided by 30,000, which gives an EPS of 1.33 per share. Calculate for the second and third option. Okay, Jatin, आपने 100% preference के लिए it is 1.6 and 1.75 absolutely correct. So EPS under preference option is coming to 1.6 per share, and EPS under the debt option is coming to 1.75 per share. In the second and third case, in both these cases, your number of equity shareholders will stay at 20,000. So you are dividing earnings available to equity shareholders by 20,000. Okay, so in this manner, you can solve for EBIT of 1 lakh, which is the second scenario, and third case will be EBIT of how much? 55,000, because it is declining by 25,000. We're just repeating these steps and seeing how the increase or decrease in EBIT is impacting the alternative capital structures. So what we can do is that you can complete this question